Okay, so let's do a live video. Let's see who's going to join. Since everyone's supposed to be home, stay at home, don't go outside because of the pandemic. So it's my local time, 7. So like in 24 hour, it's 19 o'clock. So hi people, I wanted to talk about cars maybe just because there's no videos. I did make some videos about cars. I mean, I did make some reviews. Dobro večer. Tako da, a little bit on Croatia, napravio sam par recenzija, oni koji me prate na Instagramu, ako me ne pratite, pratite me isto, moje ime i prezime. Snimio sam Golfa 8, snimio sam Škoda Octaviju, Golfa 8 detaljno. Ubacio sam drvo. I snimio sam Mercedes-Benz GLB. Tako da bit će videa, barem ima za narednih tjedan, dva. So back on English. So I made few car reviews, Golf 8, more detailed, and like fully in-depth review of the Golf 8 on, standard and then point of view driving day and night, plus Skoda Octavia review. It's the Croatian package. It's different from the one I saw in Vienna. While the Hatch 2020 Ambition, I'd like to film that. Sedan is coming. It's supposed to come later, sometime in May, perhaps. Znači 5. mjesec, but because of this Corona thing, the factories has stopped production for probably for maybe 2 weeks. We'll see what happens later. So the Hatch is currently not available. The only Hatch car that you can see online, really detailed, half an hour, is my video. And it's, I think, maybe passed over 1 million views that I filmed in Vienna, which was fully packed car with all the options. So I filmed in Croatia the style package, but Croatian style package is a little different. It wasn't that really fully equipped car, but I was surprised by Octavia because you get, in the style package here in Croatia at least, the Matrix LED lights are standard, and in the Ambition, which is now the base package, you get the base LED lights. That's a big plus. Just like in the Golf, you get the Life package, it's base LED lights, then you get the style package with upgraded top LED lights, and then you can option on the Volkswagen Golf 8 the Matrix LED lights. There's really small difference. Even in my video, I wasn't really sure, but I think. Pozdrav iz Zadra, pozdrav. I'm currently in Zadar as well, to be honest here, because I'm at my girlfriend's place. I'm not home in Zagreb because my girlfriend is studying in Zagreb, and then when this whole pandemic thing started, I've drive her here home. So I stay here now, and now I cannot return to Zagreb because, I mean, probably I could, but maybe they would put me to 14 days of quarantine at home. And if you cannot go outside for a walk, it sucks, So I don't want to get into that. So that's why I stayed here. And although I have my own house, but it's really empty and it's boring there. So if you have any other questions about cars, I did film the Mercedes-Benz GLB. And there was a video, detailed video. I mean, not fully in-depth, but really very detailed video of the interior, exterior, fully loaded car with options. So yeah, the message went. So hi from Turkey. So the comments are disappearing, so I'm not really sure how to wait. Maybe top chat, live chat. Okay, I think I can see the comments now. So good evening from Turkey. I'm following you from Turkey. Did comic Skoda Renault is this? Oops, sorry, my tripod's gonna fall down. I really didn't understand your question, Osman. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your, let me see here. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Hi from South Africa. Hi, South Africa. Uh, it's nice to see people all over the world. I'm just trying to fix my tripod because it might fall down. So it's a little bit unstable, honestly. Okay, so back to the first question. If I can answer that. Okay, so I don't know Turkish, just to make it clear. I know maybe basic few words from TV shows that I watched. Some are Turkish, but I have a friend in Istanbul, but I don't know Turkish, so all the translations you see are just translations. I'm trying to read here, but it keeps disappearing. The question I didn't honestly I didn't understand your question about something about a comic Skoda and Renault. Is it the Cape? I didn't understand your question honestly. So if you can write it down again. If you're asking like Skoda Comic or Renault Captur, if that's what you're asking, honestly, that's a good question because they are in the same price range. Honestly, I didn't test the Captur. I didn't even test drive the Comic. I just saw the both cars on the car shows. So comparing both cars, I think Skoda inside maybe is, I mean, the Comic is a little bit more spacious, but the trunk space might be even bigger and the Captur, the new Captur, second generation, and it's a matter of taste. But personally, I think the Captur looks a little bit better. Although, the both cars are probably the same price range. It might be different in some countries, but very close. So I don't know. I think the both cars are budget cars, and it's just a matter of taste, what you like. When it comes to Renault cars, they were, I know in Turkey they're very popular cars, so is Skoda as well. But some of those cars, I don't know. You get with the Skoda Volkswagen quality and with a Renault. Renault isn't that bad, but it had some issues before. Now I don't know too many Renault owners, so if I had to bet my for reliability long term, I'd probably go for Skoda. Honestly, that's just my opinion, but I might be wrong. I know a lot of people in Renault cars that are getting better now. Before the latest generation, they had some faults, usually with electronics, some minor stuff, but it's all fine when your car is in warranty. But once it goes out of the warranty, then it's on your expense. So I prefer Skoda in that case. So there was another question here. Thoughts about the upcoming M3 and M4? I think I don't know why the message keeps disappearing. I think the huge grille ruins it, makes it look like an Audi. Well, yes. So it's always a matter of taste, and we have all different tastes. So honestly, when I saw first BMW was with a huge grille on the pictures and renders, most of the new cars look really unappealing, at least. So in sometimes even ugly. To me, the Golf 8 looked pretty hideous on the render pictures and early spy photos. So it did the new Audi A3, but I love the new Audi A3. And I think I love the new Golf now when I saw it in person. First time I saw it in person on Vienna, it didn't look that good. But then the BMW as well, I like actually the big grille. And now when I see cars like the new BMW X7 or X5, it just looks like it's natural now. It is first time it was a shocker. It didn't look that appealing, but now when you see it on the road, you just get used to it. And that's the thing. I think every changes that industry when it comes to consumer market, they just decide. They always make like a questionnaire, like a what's the English word? So they make pool, and they ask, do you like this or do you like that? And then they've do it on a certain number of people, and then if most of people like the change, they implement the change, and the rest get just used to it when the product comes out. The simple explanation, like the Skoda perhaps had the badge on the back, and now it has lettering Skoda. And honestly, at first I was like, I didn't like that. But when I saw it now, it looks really elegant. And like I saw some Tesla cars have the T badge on the back. Some people debadge that and put a Tesla, and it looks so nice. So it's a matter of taste, and it's just a matter of time when you get used to it. That's just my opinion. Going back to live chat, let me see others. So, hi from Portugal. Love your videos. Stay home, stay safe as well. Stay safe, everyone. Stay at home. Reason why I'm doing, I think I'm the maybe few people on YouTube that translate my own videos to different languages. And the reason was I wanted to reach more audience. And my videos are in English because 90% of the world knows English is the first top foreign language. So even in Croatian, I don't talk Croatian. I think I made only one video, but I always I translate like maybe 45 languages, different languages, top used languages. Then I put a title of the video and the description in that language, and usually the translation from English by Google Translate is good to other languages because it was written by the first tested by the from English based, and the programmers are usually Google Americans. So it's a good translation, at least when it comes to data about your car specifications. So that's why I do that, and I don't want to mislead people, but I made those videos to reach more audience, because a lot of people love cars. And then I got a lot of comments, I love that that I can read the data, because some cars are interesting. Some cars here in Europe are only available here in Europe, and you cannot see them in other parts of the world. Like some car brands are just, not just the brands, some models are reserved for European market, some are for US market, some are for Asian market, some are for South American market. So sometimes you won't see I don't know, some type of Volkswagen cars in I don't know, Brazil, but you will see it in Mexico, and then you'll not see it again in the US, and it's like standard here in Europe. So shoot with the questions. If you have more questions, I'll be happy to answer them. And I'm just gonna check my so I'm trying to see if the messages will stay for good. I think they're not disappearing now. So yeah, now I can see your messages. So how are you spending your time? That's what I want to know. I'm here in Zadar, so I don't have my gaming PC with me. I only have my Macintosh, so I'm gonna be working on some videos. But usually now I'm just spending time with my girlfriend and her family, but I'd be playing games if I was home, to be honest. I've been making my videos, but most of the time I'd be playing games. I used to be a huge gamer. Now there's not much time to play games, but yeah, the games. Currently I was playing Star Wars Battlefront. It's an older game, and if you like World War II simulations, it's the what's the game? Hell Let Loose. Yeah, that's a recommendation. If you love World War II, that's probably the best simulation there is, and it's a huge team player because it's TeamSpeak, and it's based on communication with other players. There's 100 players, 50 players in each team, so that's cool. And yeah, so this is 15 minutes almost long. You see there's 8 people. I was hoping more people would join, but it is like, yeah, but since everyone's supposed to stay home, I'm gonna wait a little bit more longer to see if anyone's gonna join. So if you have questions about cars, let's talk about Geneva. I was supposed to go to the Geneva. I already booked my flight. I've booked my Airbnb, and unfortunately, to this pandemic, it was canceled. And it was just higher power. Nothing I could do. I really missed that I didn't see all the new cars, and you cannot see all the cars that I'll film for you. There's supposed to be I think like almost 40 premieres something actually closer to 30. But then again, there's more than 40 exhibitors, more cars I was supposed to see, film, and I didn't see the new Audi A3. That's something I wanted to see. And my cousin bought an used Audi A3. It was really, it's a cool car. My friend has an A3, and I haven't, I was considering changing my car, honestly, in a year or two. And I wanted to get a Tesla Model 3 as my dream car, but, I don't have that much finance for that car, and it's still not available in Croatia. So I was kind of thinking of changing my Skoda Octavia to something else, but with this current development of potential financial crisis upcoming after this pandemic, I think I might postpone that because it's not a wise decision, but it might be wise to maybe invest in some stocks if they go low. And the only stocks I know that I would invest my money is Apple and Tesla. But because Apple is going to, they have problems with the production now, but in the future, as soon as that problem gets solved, they're going to start producing more new iPhones, MacBooks, and all of that, all of their products. So if the stocks fall down now, that's because everyone's selling in panic, and then they're going to be investing back again when everything stabilizes. So there's 7 of you. If you want to shoot another question. If not, I'm going to end this live stream. So I just wanted to see how many people would join. And, since it's late, everyone's supposed to be home. I guess they're not doing anything. I might try this maybe another day, maybe earlier, because I wanted to do it now because in other parts of the world, like in the US, it's now 6 o'clock, actually 1 o'clock. So it's around lunch. So yeah, but if you have questions, you can type them now. Or if not, so I was talking about just videos for those who just joined in maybe that I'm going to upload. So there's like at least two point of view, daytime, nighttime. It's interesting, in the daytime point of view, you can see the convoy for the food. So I was driving really slow. And then you can see the nighttime, the Golf 8. There's going to be 2 more detailed videos, and the Mercedes GLB, and the Skoda Octavia. So there's 6 videos upcoming that I'm supposed to make, and it will be in this and the next week. And hopefully, I'm hoping in a matter of at least a month, this thing will stabilize with the Corona thing and the pandemic, so we can get to our regular lives and continue working. Okay, so I guess there's no more questions from you. Thank you all for joining. Stay at home. I hate that word, honestly, because it's just a little bit too much all over the news, TV, all the media. But it is matter of safety. So you stay home as long as possible. No, go to outside of your house for a walk, but keep distance. And just stay at home and wait for this. It's gonna pass over, so there's no need for huge panic and all of that. But it's just a matter of safety and health. So trust me, just reading from some people who got corona and got cured from it, it was kind of painful and really weird. I was reading some people just lost their sense of food taste and smell, but just for that part, and then later came back. So, but it's painful, so you don't want to get that. Just stay at home and avoid that. Hopefully there's gonna be the numbers are gonna fall down, people are gonna get cured, and we're gonna create immunity naturally to this. So yeah, read the book about Nick Goor. It's about viral disease. Well, if I can find it online, I'm gonna see. Well, honestly, when we're talking about this disease, I'm not going to go to conspiracy theories. Although as a younger person, I've read a lot about, and just I like to hear different opinions, and be objective. Trying to be objective, you need to listen to both. Do I think it's created? Well, Um, these hotspot where it started is the hotspot of the latest swine flu and the bird flu. So, and it is the same category of virus. So it is possible that it mutated. What's your favorite car? My favorite car at the moment, like my dream car, is Tesla, and I prefer the Model 3. And honestly, I like now when I saw first videos of the Model Y, because I'm a tall person, so I like space inside and on the front and the back seat. And I love the Model 3 because it's a lower car, looks more elegant, sportier. The Model Y is a little bit tall, but I like the fifth door on the back, like a hatchback. So it's easier access if you have a longer, more stuff, bags, stuff like that. And if you need to put something big in the car, transport it, it's easier. So the Model 3 is the only Tesla car that doesn't have that in the fleet. Like the Model S has it, Model X and the Model Y, but the Model 3 doesn't. And I think the Tesla made a mistake by that, doing that. So it's just a sedan. So, but you know, I wouldn't mind because the trunk is big in the Model 3. But currently, that's my car. That's the car I would want to buy. That's my favorite car at the moment. Um, Let me see here. Uh, okay, so someone says here the. Sorry, I'm tapping on my screen. So Mike Oxmal and Hog Janus said it's the biological welfare control. Okay, so to it's rational to ask questions if someone might created this pandemic as a means of a warfare, something like to maybe there's theories like Americans did it to slow down the Chinese economy, or Chinese did it to do the opposite. But if you go to that rabbit hole, there's so many options, and then you lose the rational mind. So at that point, there's too many options. The thing that someone might have created at it is always a possibility, but I'd like to be uh, more realistic, and I think it's possible that this was a type of a flu that might have got outside, not on purpose. I can't imagine someone doing it on purpose, at least not in a controlled environment like in a science lab. But it's possible that the leftovers from the previous flus, went into the wild and contaminated some animals that are rare. And then in Chinese culture, they eat some rare animals. It's like uh, speciality or something. That's what I've heard, so I really don't know details. This is just me then speculating, but I'd like to think it's not on purpose, but there is always a small possibility. But if we're gonna think about that, we just create untrust. So it's important to have trust into not the system. I don't trust the system 100%. I don't think any rational person does. There's always, doubt. You need to always have questions, and when you're always debating something, there should be always different opinions, because that's the freedom of speech. And then you should always look at things at different angles. But I think it's pointless to discuss that. So I'd like to think it's not on purpose, but I might be wrong. I mean, it's possible, but it's hard to pinpoint at someone and say this is the person you need to blame. So I don't want to point fingers into anyone. So someone says the Model 3 is the best. Sorry, I'm getting some messages from Facebook because I'm in some group. It's created by Mr. Boonier. Well, the Model 3, so I've driven the Model 3, and honestly, I've driven the dual range. So it's not the entry model, but not the performance, but it's the one with a long battery range. And I'm supposed to test the entry model as well. It's supposed to be lighter. So the Model 3 dual range, which is obviously the one you want because it has the most battery range, is the best car I've driven so far because of the lack of the noise inside because you have electric engine. So yeah, it is the best car in my opinion when it comes to electric cars so far. Yeah, it is expensive. So the thing is with with Americans, they always show their prices without taxes for some reason, and in the rest of the world, always there's taxes included. So yeah, when you see the car without the tax, even it's expensive, and then when you see it with the tax, it's so someone's asking Zadar. Yes, I'm in Zadar. So it's if you're not from Croatia, it's the uh, little bit smaller city on the coast. No, I came here from Zagreb before the earthquake, like maybe 4 or 5 days before. So I haven't felt that earthquake, and it was pretty strong. Honestly, I've talked to a lot of people in Zagreb. It was 5.5, and then later there was another one with a 5.0, and it was bad. Lucky. Well, I live in a fairly new building in Zagreb, so it has the uh, you know so it's a building with a R what's the English word? It's like the reinforced concrete. So there was no damage on my building, although the building was shaking, and it's not just the shaking that stressed people out. It's this tremor sound that came, and it was something like something blew up, and it was like rumbling in the distance, and people got scared. People went out of the buildings, and they were expecting another one, and it came. So what I've heard, there was multiple the next day, and then in Zadar. So this night, not now, it's already night outside, but in the morning, there was an earthquake here close to Zadar, but it was something like 3 point something. So people felt it. I didn't felt it. I was asleep, but it's a natural phenomenon. I was a little bit on my Instagram. I'm Catholic, so you ban masses, and a God rule is that you should go to mass every Sunday. I've kind of maybe thought it might have been God's message, like you should trust me more than church, but that was just a theory. I'm not really saying that God punished anyone. It might have been a message. The cathedral cross fell down, and the cathedral was renewed, the towers. So, but it's a really old cathedral, and it was really hard earthquake. So, the earthquake shakes the ground, but if you have a lot tall objects, the shaking of the waves, like if you have, I'm gonna try showing this. So if you have a tower and the ground is shaking, so all this shaking is going in waves, and it's moving from down to top. So if you're on the top, it's really not pleasant because everything is shaking really loud. So and that creates even more fear. It's worse on the top than on the bottom, where you feel less of the shaking. So I've talked to my friends and my family, and it was really stressful, and uh, they were in fear. Was it anything important? Hi, Philip. So I was talking about cars, something that I was supposed to, reviews that I made before everything stopped. So there are a few reviews. There's going to be Golf 8 more videos, driving videos. There's going to be Skoda Octavia just on the parking lot, and there's going to be Mercedes-Benz GLB reviews that I'm going to make. We'll maybe switch a little bit to from cars to the Corona thing and to the earthquake in Zagreb. So yeah. So I hope everyone is fine in Zagreb here, and that no one was living in the center where there's old buildings that collapsed. I mean, they didn't collapse entirely, but the roofs and some sidewalls fell down, so it was damaged. Um, there's like, I saw videos people lost their cars, like that was I have insurance for my car, like full insurance. I pay it every year. It is expensive, but you never know, you know. Things like this, like imagine losing your car. It doesn't matter if it's a used car. Um, so it's a big, if you need to buy a new car, it's a big expense. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man. The car got wrecked. So is it bad or like just windshields or like, so my friend that you can check him out, Crow Spotter 13. So he's also here from Croatia. Oh, Trešnivka. So my girlfriend's actually on Trešnivka, so I don't know about her little apartment. Is an older building as well. We don't know if it got damaged. She didn't call the owner yet, so but my friend, you can check him out. He bought a new Mini last year, and fortunately, he lives in the center. And he went to his girlfriend place with a car, so he left the car close to a open field, so it didn't got damaged. But his brother's car got smashed in the earthquake, and their apartment was damaged. But I didn't hear from him later, so but everyone's fine, thank God. So, um, uh, the roof of the trunk with glass backside. Oh, that's terrible. So, I really don't know what that like the basic insurance does it cover that? I'm not really sure. So I'm hoping you're gonna get something from your insurance. Yes, I do live in Savica. On Savica. I don't know. I'm trying to pronounce it like in English for some reason. Oh, well, yeah, it's possible. Like if the chimney falls from the building and damages your car, it does fall under the insurance from the building. It's supposed to cover. Every building has to have an insurance, I think. I might be mistaken, but I think with my own building. So this is a story from my building. Back in sometimes in 90s, maybe early 90s, after the war, or just war just ended. There was like one day I was a kid, it was like a huge boom sound, and we thought a bomb fell. But then it was also like an earthquake, and then we thought maybe it was an earthquake. I went outside, and my north side of the building, the whole bricks from the wall fell down. And what happened is you have concrete walls, and then you have something that's called, I'm gonna translate this, glass wool. It's like an insulation, and then you have bricks from the exterior. And on the roof there was some leak, water dripping in the insulation stuff. And in winter it creates ice, so it it spreads, and then in the summer it melts down and then it shrinks, and then you have a gap and it's pushing the brick, and then at some point the brick just fell down. Hopefully that day no one was passing there and no cars were parked close enough, but there were maybe some minor damages, and the building had to cover all the expenses. So yeah, it's possible you might get insurance. So fingers crossed you do. Back here to messages. So let me see. Anyway, just reason to choose between Mazda 3 and the X Seed. What will you choose? Okay, I think I've got that message. Maybe it was you. So Mazda 3 or X Seed. Okay, Seed. Okay, the X Seed is a crossover Mazda 3. So I've got questions like Mazda CX-30 and X Seed, but Mazda 3 and X Seed. Honestly, I'd pick Mazda 3. And the reason is because Mazda is just more premium inside. It's a better interior, honestly, because everything is more quality made inside. But I think with the X Seed you get a little bit more space, so it's a little bit more comfortable. And Mazda is, at least from my perspective, unfortunately smaller interior, because if you're an average person, you should probably be fine with the Mazda 3. So if that's not an issue, then I would go for the Mazda 3 because better interior, but I don't know. In the long way, Kia does have good engines as well, but yeah. So the Mazda 3 interior, it looks premium. You get leather standard. Most cars don't get that. On the dash, it's just hard plastic or soft plastic. It has a sponge and it's like covered with a plastic that looks like leather, but it's not. But on Mazda 3, you have sponge underneath and leather. It's really nice. So, and the interior is nicely laid out. It's minimalistic. You have still physical AC controls. You have the dash that's almost like analog needles, and then you have a small screen inside. Oh yeah, the armor is good. Although I prefer in German cars you can like slide, and then you have like levels. Like if you have like sideways looking and then has levels, you can like extend it and then adjust the level you want your elbow to rest on. Mazda doesn't have that. I think it's only slidable back and forward or just openable. But yeah, but Mazda 3 was really cool car. Although I'm not paid to make car reviews. I do. They give me cars because it's like free marketing for them. But Mazda had some issues with some of the engines and some of the electronics because it is completely a new car, and that those things happens every time when a car manufacturer launches a new car. There might be some things that just weren't able to test, and they show up on the real world when you start driving those cars. So there were some recall issues. They're being fixed, in warranties. So if that's a concern, maybe an Exceed is a better opinion. But I think Mazda, I've saw some research, although I think it was maybe something more of a U.S. rather than Europe. Mostly it was research with a satisfaction of customers, and Mazda was number one. The car people were satisfied, and when it comes to reliability, of course, because Mazda, there's no spare parts, there's just original parts, so it is more expensive, but you get that quality, same quality again. Excuse me. But I have my car, and personally, I've taken it always to the authorized service because it is a little more expensive. I've counted, like, if I take it to my friend who's a mechanic, he can do that all in half price. But then, if you're selling a car, people like to see stamps and signatures. It's more reliable, and then people trust you. You don't need to save receipts and show someone and look, I did change my oil and stuff like that. But so it's better when you're selling cars. Okay, more questions. Just tapping here because they disappear. Okay, so Philip is asking, yeah, no, it's number one. So, but I don't think there's any other Rikov Ricov family. So that's, if, ako si bio na prezimenu Ricov, bio si u mom stanu. Ja nisam bio doma u to vrijeme, sam bio, mislim da sam radio nešto vani oko auta. So yeah, someone was asking just, about, someone in my neighborhood, so yeah. Can you compare the ride between those two cars? I like the comfort, especially in the Croatian roads in Zagreb. So the comfort between the two cars. These questions, when you always ask about the car I've reviewed almost 2 years ago and the one I reviewed recently, it's hard to remember that from the back. But remembering Kia, I think like it's very similar. Like, I would say like maybe Mazda was a little bit better. It is a newer car, so new cars have better dampening system. They have better shocks. So amortizeri su bolji. So the shocks are better on the new cars. And like my car, like Skoda Octavia, this just springs. And honestly, now when I go over the speed bumps, and if someone heavier gets in the car or outside, you just hear that squeaking noise. It's really annoying, honestly. And but the new cars, they just feel like it's dampening better. It's smoother and it's more comfortable. You still feel the bumps, especially like the test cars. Now everyone's forcing like 18-inch 19-inch alloy wheels because it looks better, and it turns out that thinner tire, then it needs to be a little bit wider, and if it's wider profile, it's more stable on the road and there's less there is more drag, but it's sliding easier, so there's like more efficient, I guess. So yeah, but if you're gonna still feel potholes, but it's gonna be a lot softer, if you know what I mean. So it's not that shocking. It's not banging hard. It's just you can feel the bumps on the or the potholes or the speed bumps, but it's more softer. It's the car just takes it in softer. So on the suspension. Can you do a review of the BMW 3 Series? Okay, here is the stuff about the BMW. So when I was a small car channel, I've asked few dealers if I can just film cars in salons, and I've got a lot of no's before I got yes. So it took me a few people to say yes, and then with the growing numbers, they started to change their mind. But BMW, I wanted to approach them again. But first time I approached them here in Croatia, there's only one dealership. There's no multiple dealership, only one with the new cars. And when I approached them, their marketing, they were really amazed by the idea because it was completely new. And it was maybe 4 or 3 years ago. And they wanted to, let me film the cars, but they needed to ask their, their company CEO or whatever. And he said no. So, and it's left on that. So they've never give car reviews. They're really, I don't know. They don't think they need. They think they don't need car reviews because they don't want people to be objective and talk bad about BMW. And when I'm saying bad, I am only trying to be objective, criticize something that could be better, or maybe some other brand did it better. It's not like I'm talking trash about the car. So, but they don't want any criticism on the car whatsoever, and they didn't want to give me any car. I wanted to come back when I have now better numbers, more audience, but I just haven't found time for that. So let me see, there was another question. But I'd love to review BMW, so especially the 3 Series. I love the new 3 Series design, but I never had the chance to test it, unfortunately. Um, Well, when it comes to Kia and Mazda, Mazda is not a premium brand, but I feel like with the new Mazda 3 and the CX-30, it's just it's a little bit like you know a notch better, just a notch, because not a huge difference, but there's definitely more difference going to the comfort in the Mazda, in my opinion. What's your opinion on like manufacturing similarities like Skoda and the Volkswagen, like Kia and Hyundai? Yeah, I understand the question. So let me just read the question again because I've read just the other one. Okay, so similarities between Skoda, Kia, and Hyundai. So, well, if you look at the Skoda in history, the brand was a premium brand. And then after the socialism, because of the war, they fell under the Iron Curtain, and they really didn't have freedom to create new premium brands. They were forced to create cheap cars for the, in the socialist environment, let's call it like that. And Skoda really fell down, and then when the iron chain was gone, and people got free, Skoda was really low and Volkswagen bought it. So what happened is now Volkswagen is sharing cars with Seat. They bought a Seat, it's a Spanish brand. They bought Skoda, which is a Czech brand. Some other brands like Audi as well, and then Bugatti and other more like exclusive cars. But if you just look at four cars, like Volkswagen, okay, let's say Audi is the top, then you have Volkswagen, then you have Skoda and Seat, or Seat and Skoda, whatever you think is better. So in that order, everyone's sharing the same parts. So it's easier to produce more cars. You have very similar or the same engines that are just remapped a little bit more power or less, and you have same parts. So you have easily distributed parts in the factories, for the repair shops, for the service, and it's just easier. And then you can build more cars faster, and the industry wants to build more faster. so they can make more money. So it's pretty simple, and sometimes it's a good thing and sometimes it's a bad thing. So let me see new questions. Tomichenko Sramota. I know. Aliens are here. That's another topic I can talk a lot about, but I think you're more right than you think you are. Okay, until dawn, Hannah is going on with Carol. Okay, until the end of the month, I will be the first, because I'll be the first person, to be honest. Okay, I'm not sure what you're saying. Rest in peace. So someone died until dawn. Hannah, he's going out with Carol. Okay, I didn't understand some of those references, but yeah. Okay, someone mentioned aliens are here. Yeah, like we had the corona, we had the earthquake here, and then people are joking we're just waiting for aliens now or Godzilla to pop out. So that would be like a really cliche movie. Autocorrect. Well, it happens to me a lot as well. Um, so this is like 46 minutes already. I don't think this is gonna be longer than an hour. Was meant to put a nice beard. Well, if you're using emojis, be easier probably. So, I think we covered a lot here because I didn't expect it to go this long. Altogether, there's like 10 people, 20, 12, close to 20. But I'm hoping in the future, like I have 40,000 subscribers, and like, but mostly people randomly drop to see the videos. They're looking for some car and they just watch the video. Maybe some of them subscribe, but there's not a regular audience. And then again, I'm talking in English, and then my audience is really spread across the world. So for some people, it's not convenient to jump on the video because the time zone might be completely off for them, maybe night or early morning. So yeah, but I was trying to like Central European to do like a 7 o'clock, and then in U.S. In that part of the world it's like something 1 p.m. after the sometime in between, sometime when it's lunch. So yeah, so hoping this, I'm gonna end this video, but I'm hoping you're all gonna stay at home. You're all gonna be safe, and you know, we're hoping and praying that this Corona thing is going to end soon. So I'm gonna see you in the next one. I'm gonna end it here. So stay safe at home and